What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 92. We're starting season off on the back of our win over Sheffield United. Safe to say Newport County are back on track, 4 straight wins in all competitions. Let's just forget what happened prior to that, shall we? As we head into November with an academy update, 1 player left in our youth squad, now the young goalkeeper. And look, our fixtures for November as well, match days 3 and 4 in the Champions League, plus the Magpies and the Canaries away, and Leeds United at home, who as we know have been very good since this series began. So yeah, heading into the first game of today's episode, taking on Rosenborg, match day 4. Obviously, as we know, heading into the final 3 games of the group after Bayern's, let's say, stuttering start in the group, just 1 win in their first 3, that coming against our opponents today, Rosenborg. We know if we win this game and avoid defeat to Bayern on match day 5 here at Rodney Parade, we'll guarantee qualification with a game to spare. I'm not sure if we'll catch Roma. They look like the strongest team in the group, but I mentioned in the last episode, I love how the group's kind of panned out at the halfway stage. 9-6-3-0. 1 team with 3 wins, 1 team with 2 wins, that's us. 1 team with 1 win, and 1 team with 0 win. There's something so aesthetically pleasing about that, you know. But heading into the game against Rosenborg, obviously beat them in Norway, and heading into this game for match day 4, it was a little bit of nerves. Only just came through Sheffield United by a 0-0, but I felt as though the team right now with no points in the group so far, at home, this would be the easiest game of all 6. So really, I felt as though it should be a bit of a banker. Took the lead early through Rabi Rotondo, then Humphreys denies it was still 1-0. But in the first half, we've been a far better team. Rosenborg hadn't really caused me any problems whatsoever. Now, a few minutes to go before the break, Rashesha finds Lloyd. Lloyd, already 2 goals in the group so far. On to Rabi Rotondo, who scored our first. Lovely ball through to Dan James, and there is the second of the game. And it was coming at some point. Just stayed in attack mode. Knew I'd get that second, and we did. Dan James got to a great start this season as we go 2-0 up. And right before the break, a chance to make it 3 in a really controlled first half. Rabi down the left-hand side, rolls it across. Humphreys trying his luck. Good save still. 2-0. But yeah, no problems in the first half, really. So heading into the break, leading by 2, and I took a couple of my starters off at the break, feeling as though the job was done. And sometimes, I've got to be honest, sometimes when that happens, I guess I'm my own worst enemy, because I'll take my foot off the gas pedal a little bit, lose control, the AI will get back in the game, and then I'll start to struggle a little bit. But this was just not one of those games. Rosenborg didn't really cause many problems. In Scandinavia, they actually levelled the game. We went up by a goal, then they made it 1-1. And they got back in it, and did make me a little bit nervous, but after Ethan and Paddy put us in front in Norway, we kind of controlled the game and killed it off from there. But in this game, I had no such hiccups whatsoever. 18 minutes to go, and we'd finally get our 3rd goal. I was waiting a long time for it, but we got it. Brennan Johnson, I believe, getting his first goal since coming in the summer transfer window. What a ball by Rashesha, by the way. And Johnson off the bench, running through one-on-one, slots it in to make it 3. So there is the win. We were expecting a win on match day 4, 5 straight wins in all competitions, and that does mean that heading into match day 5 against Bayern Munich, the situation remains the same. After they drew at the Allianz Arena, Bayern and Roma, I should say, if we draw with Bayern on match day 5, that will guarantee qualification as we're 5 games clear. But a win could potentially see us top if Roma fail to match our result against Rosenborg. Feel confident they will, with Rosenborg still pointless, but even so, top spot is still not beyond the realms of possibility, but avoid defeat on match day 5 and qualification is in the bag. So heading into the second game of today's episode, Newcastle United away, St James's Park. What a resurgence for the Magpies we've seen in real life, by the way. I have to credit Eddie Howe. You know, he's done a really good job. Newcastle's position was looking very, very precarious when he came in. He knew he had a big task, but they've done pretty well in recent weeks. Obviously got a very big win on the weekend. Kieran Trippier's been a revelation. What a fantastic signing he's been from Atletico Madrid. Such a shame about the injury. That's a big, big blow there for the former Atletico Madrid fullback. But taking on the Magpies in the game, not quite having the same sort of form they've had in recent weeks in real life. Right now, bottom of the table, so heading into this clash here at Rodney Parade, at St James Park even, certainly felt confident of keeping the winning run alive. And after Mark Bound scored just his 2nd goal of the season to make it 1-0 early and give us the advantage, we look for that 2nd goal soon afterwards. Great save by Zach Steffen here on Dan James, kept it at 1-0. But in the early stages, we'd been the far superior team, staying in attack mode. And I often say, you know, when you're in good form and your players have those temporary attribute increases, just keep on going to every game, regardless of your opponent, starting off fast and starting off in attack mode, because you'd always fancy your chances because you've got the form and you've got the temporary attribute increases on your side as well. But we did see some bad news right before the break. and it was very troubling indeed. Thankfully, he got back to his feet and would soldier on for the remainder of the first half and a bit of the second as well. But after Dan James scored our second 12 minutes after the restart, what a season he's having right now. Not sure about the celebration, but even so, he went 2-0 up here in the northeast. Gavin Humphreys going down, and eventually I would take him off. You might notice during the games, I very rarely substitute Gavin, and why would I, man? He's our captain, he's our leader, and whilst I often say that Matondo is probably what you consider our best player in this team, Humphreys the main man still. Yeah, Humphreys is the guy, Humphreys is the leader. Rarely take him off, but felt as though it was the right thing to do. We were leading by 2 after we got the second goal through Dan James, so I thought, right, take him off, precautionary method. The game seems to be done at this point, so ensure he won't get a more serious injury to go alongside the knock. And we had the ball disallowed, he had the ball in the back of net but disallowed for an offside goal soon afterwards. Mark Bound denied his first brace of the season by the offside flag. Right decision. The Magpies would get back in the game with 22 minutes to go, make things a little bit nervy, but fortunately it will prove to be nothing other than a consolation. Final score 2-1 at St James's. The Magpies remain bottom of a Newport County. Oh, relief come the end of the game. I felt it'd be okay. You know, when you've played FIFA for as long as I have, and when you play it as much as I do, you can kind of tell how serious the injuries are going to be in game. If a player is forced off on the stretcher, you know it's going to be a several month injury. Sometimes a player will get a knock and manage to soldier on, and it will be a 2 or 3 month injury, like a broken toe, for example. But for the most part, if a player does soldier on, you're looking more likely to be weeks and most likely days for the injury. So I felt as though Humphreys would be okay. It was just a bruise, and we also had an international break right after the game as well. So thankfully, that injury really didn't mean too much. Very relieving as well, because I mean, seriously, if this guy gets a serious injury, we are in big trouble. The 2 players we can't afford to get serious injuries, Gavin Humphreys and Ravi Matondo. I think anyone else in the team we could probably soldier on and do okay. Lloyd Payne, as we know, is amazing in the back, but to be fair, my defence is always poor regardless, and we've got so much CB depth here, it wouldn't be too big of a blow. But if Humphreys goes down for like 3 months, who's the stand-in? Well, Tyler Roberts, Harry Wilson, they're good, but they're not Humphreys. If Matondo goes down, who's the stand-in? Alan Bound? Isaac Davis? Yeah, we cannot afford these guys getting injured. And 2 minutes into his return, as we come back from the international break here against Leeds United, Gavin Humphreys gets his 7th of the season. Man is absolutely on fire to start the campaign off this year. I mean, seriously, last season he had his best year of the save. This year, he's on course to get even more goals. He is just absolutely dominating to begin this campaign off. And 28 minutes in the heart of everything, as per usual, he scored our first and set up our second. Dan James running through one-on-one with Radu, smacks it in, top corner, and of course shows the respect against one of his former clubs. Dan James would finish 2-0 Newport County, and at this point, again, absolutely cruising here at Rodney Parade. So his 6th goal of the season for Dan James, by the way, as well. He's averaging 1 in every 2 at the moment. He's also on course to have his best season in terms of goals in this series so far. But 31 minutes in here, as we were still leading by 2-0. Well, Dan James just got his first of the game, but I don't know how on earth he was claiming this one. Yeah, 31 minutes in, he shows the respect, but oh my goodness gracious me, what a comical own goal there. We've talked about goalkeeper distribution and how poor it is, and goalkeepers this year not very good with their feet, certainly not considered sweeper keepers, the vast majority of them, but that was just shocking there. Pass back from Ribeiro to Radu, and I don't really know who you blame for that one. Not really sure who's at fault, to be honest. Is it the goalkeeper? Is it the centre half? Lack of communication, I guess. Lack of positional sense, even so. It freeing it up for a poor own goal, but really, despite the lucky break there, didn't really need it. Dan James would bag his brace and rightfully claim that one, as he was celebrating 3 of our 4 goals, but he can only get 2 of them credited to him, as we went 4-0 up before the break. And whilst Romelu Lukaku, Big Rom, would make it 4-1 in the second half, really, we didn't really feel as though Leeds were going to come back from this. We talked about Leeds in this save before. You know, I mentioned them very, very briefly earlier. They've been built really well in this save. In fact, they've been a really, really good team as the years have gone by. Obviously, they beat us in the Community Shield this year on penalties, our first ever trip to Wembley. But whenever we face them, you always expect goals. Every single game against them, there's always so many goals. And this game, no exception. 6 in total as we bagged our 5th goal to restore our 4-goal cushion late on. Gavin, Humphreys with another goal number 8 for the season, getting on the end of the Tyler Roberts cutback. But in this game, didn't have too many problems against Marco Bielsa's side. You know, whenever you face them, there's going to be lots and lots of goals. Probably conceding and scoring. But yeah, in this game, very dominant victory. And for Newport County, the run continues. 7 straight wins in all competitions for Newport County, and after what was a tough run of form, no wins in 4, 3 losses in 4, safe to say we're certainly back on track. 2 points clear of Man City at the top of the table, 5 clear of Spurs and Manchester United, 7 clear of Crystal Palace, 9 wins in 12, 33 goals scored already. Let's forget what happened a couple episodes ago. We are back to our best now. But that will end today's episode of Club and Country, guys. Big fan of your fortune. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like. Most up to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of C and C very soon.